Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar from for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. So we do have some showers and a few thunderstorms breaking out through this afternoon. The next 5 days do look generally bone dry for many regions, with temperatures climbing too, with many areas by this weekend and the start of next week seeing temperatures perhaps in around that 20-degree mark. As we see in the long range from the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles, we are still seeing this consistent signal for high pressure to dominate the foreseeable future. Still a bit of fluctuations with the exact air mass, but the majority are average to above average, fairly warm, some even getting quite hot, temperatures widely from that 20 to perhaps even as high as 25-degree range with minimal precipitation. So quite a decent end to May. Hopefully the forecast is right, the models are right, as it will be a really quite stunning end to May after a fairly sort of abysmal first couple of months to spring, as we saw snow initially, and then we've seen a lot of drab, cold conditions. Again, not exactly cold on the thermometer, but feeling chilly with a lot of rain, a lot of cloud around. So this sort of high pressure, sunny, warm end of the spring and of May will be definitely something a lot of people will be looking forward to. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So just start on the live radar, you can see it is mostly dry, but we've got this pocket of instability and some heavy showers and thunderstorms. That's the east. You can see down East Anglia, down into parts of Kent now. We can see there is some lingering light to moderate rain, and this is an associated weather front that has skirted down the east coast overnight, and that did impact Scotland through yesterday. Behind it, we've got sunshine, but we've still got the associated instability. That's why we're seeing some very heavy thunderstorms break out near Southampton, Salisbury, Bournemouth, Dorchester, and even up spreading towards Reading, perhaps Swindon, Cheltenham, and a few more isolated cells into the northwest and Midlands, but very scattered here, and only a few of these are getting very heavy. Mainly it's down towards the south coast here where we are seeing significant storm activity, and these will continue to rumble on through the rest of the evening, but really only in this isolated spot. Now, we don't have a weather warning issued for this. Perhaps having a look at this probably could be a warranted warning just in this region, but at the moment we don't have a warning issued, and most areas are pretty decent out there. Bit of a weather front trying to push into the west as well. Again, will mainly only bring in thick cloud as it comes up against the higher pressure that's building in. Now, as I'm recording this just before 3 p.m, you can see the peak temperature of the day around that sort of mid to high teens point. Best conditions in around the London area, perhaps into the Midlands, these areas where we've got the thicker cloud and remnants of the weather front, of course, thunderstorms breaking out, keeping it a little bit cool as well. But widely, a relatively mild day today. I wouldn't say anything too warm, as those temperatures really are still in sort of the mid to maybe high teens, but hopefully it will get a lot better over the coming days. So if you now go over to the UKV and see what that is showing over the course of the next 5 days or so, you can see that we've got those heavy thundery showers break out the rest of this afternoon behind that weather front, and eventually they do degrade away, and by this evening they do clear into the southwest of England and become much lighter before dissipating around 8 or 9 p.m. Most other areas are dry. That weather front that tries to push into the west really disintegrates as it moves into the higher pressure, and as we head into Saturday, it's a pretty fine day. Many areas are sunny and relatively warm, some showers into the north and west, but again, they won't be making that much progress coming into the higher pressure. Now, as we progress beyond that into Sunday, you could see that weather front could give some quite horrible conditions overnight, luckily. And as we head into the day, you can see the weather front just disintegrates really just into an area of thick cloud and a few lingering patches of rain. So into Sunday, most areas are going to be very dry. The only issue we could see is for some of that lingering cloud north from that decaying weather front. But as I said, most areas, especially for England and Wales, will have plenty of sunshine. It's a similar pitch into Monday, another very dry day and even widely sunny there. Only a few clouds in some isolated spots. Most areas it will be bone dry and really sunny. Again, it's still 3 or 4 days away, so things can change, but this latest picture is for a stunning day. As we head into Tuesday, again looking likely to be another great day, perhaps a bit more cloud through central England, but again really sunny, especially in Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland. Beautiful out there. So just showing you that, yeah, we've got a few thunderstorms around today, a bit of thicker cloud, a bit of rain, but the next 5 days beyond this afternoon are going to be really quite nice. And those upper air temperatures are generally climbing too. So you can see by early next week, wouldn't be surprised if we are getting into the low 20s with these sort of upper air temperatures. Now, if you put on the temperatures, 2 meter temperatures as of this afternoon, you can see in those peak areas getting towards that sort of 17 to 19 degree range, but because of that lingering cloud and thunderstorms, going to be sort of 13 or 14 degrees in some spots. As we head into tomorrow, into Saturday, set a widely brighter day, and widely those temperatures climb to 18 to 20 degrees. The only caveat is through parts of Scotland, maybe eastern Northern Ireland and eastern Republic of Ireland, more towards the mid to low teens as we got that lingering cloud. But those temperatures will just be climbing, and as we head into Sunday, you see by 8 a.m, 15, 16 degrees in East Anglia already. And as we head into the afternoon, another day of widely 19 to 21 degrees. Another really nice day, and again, could be some lingering cloud in the north and west which holds those temperatures down, but as I said, most areas are really sunny and really nice. And that's the same into Monday, even more widespread warmth widely through England, Wales, 20 to 22 degrees, and could even see nicely to 23 there. Another very stunning day, and that will continue into Tuesday, where we do see again widely 19, 20 degrees, touching 21 or 22 in a few spots. So not ridiculously warm, not a heat wave by any means, but much warmer than what we've seen so far this spring, especially widely much warmer than we've seen. Again, we have seen those isolated 21s in places, but this is widespread warmer conditions. And it's consistent as well as over a number of days, instead of just being one isolated day when we see a warmer air mass waft up from the south for a time. So it's going to be nice, it's going to be fairly pleasant, so make sure you go out and enjoy it as we head into the final week or so of May. Now, if you do go over to the GFS now and see what's in store for the next few weeks in general, you can see the high pressure is ridging in at the moment, and it looks likely to dominate over the coming weeks. There could be brief breakthroughs of slightly cooler air masses, slightly more unsettled conditions into the north, but most of the time high pressure is just going to dominate. We can run through this quite quickly as we just continue to see high pressure just sat over top or near to us. The only caveat we could see, as we saw a little bit yesterday, is right into the longer term, that high pressure, instead of ridging off the Atlantic, would ridge more up towards Scandinavia, and that would bring a southeasterly wind in, which could bring even hotter air in. You can see some really warm air wafting up from the south, but equally lower pressure is going to sit in the Bay of Biscay, and that could actually spiral up some big thunderstorms. Look at the temperature deviation, some very warm air starting to waft up a good sort of 6 to 8 degrees above average, maybe getting up to as high as 10 degrees above average into the Mediterranean and parts of France. So warm air trying to waft up from the south. We will just have to see what sort of progression that does make as we do head into early June. If you actually do go to the United Kingdom, 2 meter temperatures, you can see by if you do go to the 6 hour intervals, so we can get midday there, so not the peak temperature of the day, but 22 or 23 degrees in London, so it could get up to 25 or higher by 3 p.m. So much warmer into the long term if we did see that warmer air mass waft up. Now, if you look at the GEM now, again, high pressure building in and continue to dominate over the coming days. Could see brief breakthroughs of little cooler patches of air and a little bit of instability. You can see some yellows move there for a time, but again, nothing major. And right towards day 10, generally still warm and dry. Only a caveat here is that high pressure is a little bit further westwards, so it's allowing slightly cooler, more unsettled air masses to potentially penetrate into Scotland there. Again, just a glancing blow of some cooler air. Again, I wouldn't look too much into it at this stage, but it could give slightly worse conditions in Scotland for a time if we did see that. But most of the British Isles would still be fairly pleasant under mostly high pressure. So nothing too bad, but could just give slightly cooler conditions further northwards for a time. If you do have a look at the ECMWF now, again, high pressure ridging in off the Atlantic and continue to dominate over the coming days and the coming weeks, all the way to day 10, still with stunning high pressure over the top of us, and looking really nice. Again, the upper temperatures aren't too great. Again, they're more around the sort of 5 degree point, so probably high teens, maybe touching low 20s. You can see the temperature deviation just generally hovering around average or slightly above, so nothing too spectacular, but still under higher pressure. I think everyone would love in around that 20 degree mark with a lot of sunshine. That's sort of the perfect conditions, I think, for many people. So looking great to end May if you're a fan of that warm and dry feel out there. If you now have a look at the ensembles, you can see this is a persistent signal over the coming weeks. It's not particularly warm upper air temperatures at the moment, but they will climb early next week, and that's where we could get sort of widely 20 to 23 degrees through Monday and Tuesday. They could dip briefly again back towards average, sort of by the middle of next week, by Wednesday, Thursday. But again, sort of generally what they are now, so sort of high teens once again. And beyond that, they could rise even higher as we do head into the final days of May and early June, with most ensemble members getting towards that sort of 5 to 10 degree point, most around that sort of 7 or 8 degree mark. Again, use my standard sort of plus 15 degree formula for the upper air temperatures to 2 meter temperatures. You'd expect with upper air temperatures of 5 to 10 degrees anywhere from max temperatures around that 20 to perhaps even as high as 25 degree mark. So we're not looking at anything ridiculous here. If we wanted to see 30 degrees this time of year, we need to see some of these hottest ensemble members going up towards the 15 degree mark. But even then, some of these won't even hit that sort of level. So anyone saying anything too hot is coming is not looking at the models. But something warm, something pleasant for the time of year, that is definitely looking on the cards. Something, as I said, around that 20 to 25 degree mark. And you can see the precipitation amounts are very minimal too. So high pressure to dominate. You can see the 2 meter temperatures are going to be fairly warm as well. Again, this is sort of the midday and 6 p.m. time, so it's always going to be slightly higher than this. And that's why for the next few days it's showing sort of 17 or 18 degrees, because that's the midday temperature. By 3 p.m. it will be good few degrees higher, and that's the same in the long term. They're showing sort of 20 degrees, but it's most likely going to be sort of 23 or 25. And if we look at the sea level pressure for this, generally higher pressure as well. In the long term, it does show it dips, but only really dips to around 1,018 millibars for the average, which is higher pressure. So high pressure to dominate. Just how high will the pressure be? That's what we're deciphering off this chart. And finally, just looking at the ECMWF ensembles, just to compare, see if we got a similar outcome. A little bit of lack of data there during the middle, around the 25th to 27th, but broadly a very similar overall chart, with average to above average air masses trending up towards that 10 degree mark at 850 HPA in the long term, and generally pretty dry as well over the next few weeks. So it is looking great. Not too much really to report on. No real major changes over the last few days. Sort of the perfect weather for anyone who wants to get out there, enjoy themselves in warm and sunny conditions. That's what is looking likely for the end of May, and hopefully as we do head into June as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you go and enjoy this beautiful end to spring, and I'll see you again for another video soon.